Baba is asking us to check whether all our thoughts are pure thoughts or are there sinful thoughts also. Yes, but I was just thinking today that thoughts, words and actions, they are like the fruits and flowers and leaves of the seed. Yes, they are like what is visible. So you see that when there is a plant, you can't see the seed. You can see the fruits, you can see the flowers, you can see the leaves, you can see the trunk, but you can't see the seed. But as is the seed, so is the plant. And if you pay attention to the seed, then the other things will be better. Similarly, when we talk about the soul, so we can't see the soul. We can't see the state of the soul. But our thoughts, words, deeds, they are all expressions of our spiritual stage. And you think as you are, you speak as you are, and you do as you are. Yes, and this is a very important thing to understand, because you see that there is a very beautiful saying, I am not who you think I am, you are who you think I am. Yes, so I am not who you think I am, you are who you think I am. Because my thought is an expression of me. It's not an expression of who the other person is or what the situation is. It's just an expression of what I am and who I am. And there is this one brother, and he was today asking me that there are colleagues in the office who sometimes make some nasty comments about some personal aspect of his life. And he said that I feel very bad and I feel sorrowful. And so should I react or should I, just keep quiet in such situations? So I said, before that, we need to understand that how a person speaks about you is not about you, it's about them. And we live in a world where today Baba says the sanskars of Maya are very deep. Yes, and there is a lot of impact of vicious sanskars. So everybody speaks according to their sanskars. So how someone thinks or how they talk or how they behave has got nothing to do about you. It's got everything to do with who they are. But how you feel in that situation, your feelings, your thoughts have got everything to do with you. So if somebody is speaking something and I'm having a reaction to it, or I'm feeling disturbed, or I'm feeling insulted, or I'm feeling angry, then I have to check what is it in me that is causing me to feel that way. So everyone is responsible and they are responsible for their thought, word, and action, and their thought, word, and action is because of them. But my thought, word, and action is also because of me. Yes, so I cannot say that, you are rude because you have a sanskar of rudeness, and I'm sad because you are rude. It doesn't work like that. So you are rude because that's how you are, and I'm sad because that's how I am. And I have to deal with my sanskar, right? But just like I told you that thoughts, words, and deeds are mere expressions, the most important thing is the spiritual stage. And this is why Baba says that if you are a punyatma, which means, and there is this word punya which doesn't have an English translation, and it is translated very badly. So it is translated as charitable soul, but I don't know whether that explains it. But since all of you understand punya, the word punya, which is a Hindi word, and punya atma means somebody who has credits of good karma in them. So punya atma is a pure soul, a soul who has done punya karma, good karma. So that is a punya atma. And Baba says that you have to check how much of a punya atma you are, and how much of dan punya are you doing. Okay, so these are two things that Baba is asking us to check. And Baba today gives very clear definitions of who is a punyatma. So Baba says, you become a punyatma if you imbibe knowledge. So Baba is giving us the jewels of knowledge, and if you imbibe them, then you become a punyatma. And a punyatma will always, through their thought, word, and action, they will always incur good karma. So if you are a punyatma, you create more punya through your thought, word, and action, because that's who you are. And when that expresses in thought, word, and action, you create more, good karma. But the other thing that Baba says is, do you do dan punya? And dan punya, Baba defines as, do you donate the jewels of knowledge to others? Because the biggest punya is to make another one a punyatma. So just like you become a punyatma by imbibing knowledge, if you give the same jewels of knowledge to another one, they can also become a punyatma by imbibing them. So there is this proverb in English, and I don't know if it's a vegetarian proverb, but they say that don't feed someone fish, teach them how to fish. Yes, so so Baba says that don't just make them a recipient of your punya, make them also capable of being a punyatma. So just like you become a punyatma by imbibing knowledge, similarly, if you give them the jewels of knowledge, they can also imbibe it and become a punyatma themselves. They don't have to. So, and the sign of a punyatma is you give happiness. So, you give happiness, and teach others also to give happiness or create happiness, and not just give them happiness. So, when you are a Punyatma, you give happiness, but the method to give happiness is teach them how to give happiness to others. So, you give them knowledge and they are able to create happiness and make others happy also. So, this is the service that Baba teaches us today. And I was just thinking about, what is the expression of a soul who imbibes knowledge? So, what would you look like, or what will be your behavior when you, what would be your thoughts, words, acts when you become that one who has imbibed knowledge? So, the knowledge is the knowledge of the soul, the knowledge of God, and the knowledge of drama. Yes. So, when you understand, when you have imbibed these 3 points of knowledge, then what will be the shift in you? So, the shift will be, so, usually we think that, will not react and this and that, but the most important shift is you will not sleep in Amrit Vela if you have imbibed knowledge. You will never miss the Murli. You will never compromise on purity. You will take every opportunity for seva. Because when you imbibe knowledge, you become wise. And a wise soul knows how to use their time and thought and energy well. So, a wise soul makes good decisions, good choices with regard to their lifestyle and their thoughts and words and deeds. And the best lifestyle is the lifestyle that Baba gives us, the Brahmin lifestyle. So, when you have imbibed knowledge, you are a wise soul. The sign of that is you never miss the Murli, you never sleep at Amrit Vela, you never compromise on purity, come what may. No attraction, no fear can make you forget the value of purity, and you never miss an opportunity for seva. Or, you create opportunities for seva. That's the sign of a soul who has imbibed knowledge. And there is another very important sign, which is you don't waste your thought in waste thoughts. So, what is a waste thought? So, you see that any thought which is not about self-progress and seva, that's a waste thought. Yes? So, you know everything, but you don't spend your thought. You don't even spend one extra thought on anything which is not about self-progress and seva. Got it? So, it's a very difficult thing to get, by the way, because, when you think about it, you will understand that, we think a lot of thoughts which are totally unrelated to self-progress and seva. So, let's say somebody is doing something, or somebody is taking away something from you. Yes, so they are plotting and planning against you. Okay, or they are talking ill of you, or they are doing something which affects your condition. Okay, but you know it. You are a wise soul. You understand everything. You know it. but you don't spend time thinking about it. You don't spend your thought on it. You know it, you deal with it also, but you don't think about it because that's a waste thought. And do you understand that when you create a waste thought, you waste that thought, which means your thought is such a big asset and you're wasting it on something or someone who doesn't deserve it. But don't you waste your thoughts on the things and people who don't deserve it? All the time you're wasting your thoughts like that. So, when you are wise, you don't waste your thoughts. Your thoughts are creative energy. You can create whatever you want through your thoughts. Thoughts become things. And just think about, if you are thinking about someone else or something, then you are actually giving energy to it. Yes, so if somebody is doing something to harm you and you are thinking about them, then you are actually filling them with energy to harm you more, because they are being sustained by your thoughts. And this thought is a very, very powerful mechanism. And we are Brahmin souls, our thoughts are precious. So when you're wise, when you have imbibed knowledge, so you don't waste your time, you are accurate, you do everything according to Srimad, and a very big sign is you never waste your thought. So you never waste your thought, word, deed. But let's take the thought first. You never think about anything that is unrelated to self-progress and seva, because you only want to give energy to self-progress and seva. And anything else that comes, you know it, you recognize it, but you don't think about it. You deal with it also. It's not that you don't deal with it. You deal with it. If you can do something, you do something. But most of the situations you can't do anything. Yes. So pretty much if you see, we are stuck in the drama. So in the drama, since this is the final scene and this scene is almost prefixed by the whole drama. So you can't do much about anything, and sometimes you can do something, most of the times you can't do anything. But whatever it is, whether you do something about it or not do something about it, in both the situations you don't think about it. Because when you think about something which you don't like, you trouble yourself and you spoil your vibration. You give energy to that one which you don't like or which you don't want to grow, but you're giving your energy to it. So that's the sign of a wise soul. And a wise soul, because Baba has told us that you're full of the treasures of knowledge. So the first thing is you have to be full of the treasures of knowledge. And when you're full with the treasures of knowledge, then you have enough to think. You think about knowledge and the Murli, and you think about the new world, you think about the subtle world, you think about seva, you make plans for seva. So you have so much to think about that you don't think about that which doesn't deserve your thought. And you never waste your time, you never waste your energy. Your timetable and your life is all according to Srimad. That's the sign of a soul which is full of the jewels of knowledge. And then Baba says, when you speak or you act, you donate jewels of knowledge, because you will only speak what you do, you will only behave as you are. And if you are knowledgeful, if you are full of that, that essence of knowledge, you know who you are, you realize who you belong to, and you have that self-honor of who I am, who I am going to be, and who I belong to, then all your words and your behavior is an expression of that knowledge. And then anybody who listens to you or is around you, observing you, they start imbibing knowledge. And that's the sign of a Punyatma. So, when Punyatma is not about speaking knowledge and doing the opposite of that. So, Punyatma means right from morning until next morning, all your actions are knowledgeful, all your words are knowledgeful. And anybody who is in and around you, they don't have to, when they see you, they hear you, all they imbibe is knowledge. So, and when we do all of this, then we create a world of punya, which is you're creating satyug. Yes, and just imagine, I was just thinking today, what is satyug like? So, what is satyug like? So you see that when I'm in the soul world, I'm like this seed who is full. Yes, I'm like this full seed. And obviously an inactive seed, just like, a seed is full, but it is inactive until it comes and is sown in the ground. Yes, so similarly, I'm full but in my inert state in Satyug. And then I descend onto this stage, and it is like the seed is sown. And then my life is an expression of the fullness within. So in Satyug, I am a peaceful, loveful, pure, powerful soul. Yes, so all my being, my doing, my thinking is an expression of my pure, peaceful, loveful, powerful self. And then you see, all the seeds are like that. And every soul's expression is an expression of peace, love, joy, purity. And when you are pure and happy and peaceful, when you are full inside, then you are in harmony. Yes, and this is why Satyug is a world of harmony. And I was just thinking, you see, why are we not in harmony with each other? Why are we not in harmony with each other here? So you see, I, the soul, have the capacity to understand you. Every soul does. Yes, so every soul has the capacity to understand another soul. But why am I not able or willing to understand you? Because you are my object of satisfaction. I don't look at you as a soul. I look at myself as a horse and you as grass. And a horse doesn't befriend the grass. So I do not choose to understand you, because if I understood you, then who will I exploit? So, there was this one Mata, and she asked me a very good question. She said, if I'm compassionate towards the maid, then I have to clean the dishes myself. So I said, but why? She said, because you see, just like every soul in the drama, she's going through a lot, and she's going through, water troubles and house troubles, and pains and aches and diseases and relationship issues and everything. So if I am compassionate towards her, then I will have to do the dishes myself. So I said, yes, that's true. So, you choose to not understand the other person, because if you understand, how will you exploit? And ego tells you, you are entitled to exploit. Yes, so ego will tell you that since you have more money than the other person and you are paying them, so that makes you entitled to exploit. And because you are entitled to exploit, you don't choose to understand. And similarly, you in every relationship, so when a soul is full of lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed, then you don't harmonize with somebody who is your object of gratification. So somebody who you are entitled to exploit physically, so when you get married, you think that you are entitled to exploit this one's body. And then if you choose to see them as a soul, then how will your desires of lust be fulfilled? So then you don't choose to see them as a soul, you choose to see them as your object of desire. And you choose to see everybody else as a soul, but not that one. Because घोड़ा घास से दोस्ती करेगा तो खाएगा क्या? Yes, so that is the question. So, when a soul is vicious, you don't harmonize. You don't choose to harmonize, or you cannot harmonize, because you come from a needy place. And when the soul is full, you harmonize, because you are not influenced by Maya, you are not influenced by lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed. So you are able to respect and treat everyone with respect and love. And because you treat everyone with respect and love, they also serve you with respect and love. But here it is the opposite. You don't give respect and love, and you think that you are entitled to exploit. They think they are entitled to cheat and lie and do everything. And everybody is doing that. So, you are on your worst behavior, they are also on their worst behavior. And then there is so much of insecurity and so much of concern for safety when you are in and around people. Yes, so all this is because of this state. And now Baba says that, when today Baba uses a very beautiful expression, your intellect has to be wholesome. And and Baba says, through remembrance, your intellect becomes wholesome. And the more you remember Baba, and this remembrance, is a very interesting thing, because every day Baba, thousands of times in the Murli, he will tell you, remember me, but the only thing you don't do is remember Baba. So you listen to the Murli, you maybe, you also practice eating pure food or something, but the only thing you don't do is remember Baba. And it took me a lot of time. So, in the first 2 years, when I was in Gyan, I didn't remember Baba. I was just listening to the Murli. Baba says, remember Baba. Saying it that, in Dharna ke Sar, I would say, Baba said, remember Baba. But I would never remember Baba. And then after 2 years, I started thinking, why don't I remember Baba? And why does it not enter my buddhi that I have to remember Baba? And then, I started understanding Maya. So, Maya is such that, you will listen to this one point in the Murli every day, but Maya will not allow you to even consider remembering Baba. So you will only remember Baba when you're stuck in the traffic, and when you have a long line in the hospital, and you have to take your turn early, and you have to do there's some project or there's an exam, you will remember Baba, but you will not remember Baba otherwise. So this is the biggest trick that Maya plays. And Baba today says, if you remember me, I will make your intellect wholesome. And when I make your intellect wholesome, then you will be able to strike a balance between, this accuracy of karma will come. So you will not connect with people and things and places in a needy way. You will start paying attention to burning your sins. You will start paying attention to not wasting your time and thought, and you will start paying attention to doing seva. And you will also not neglect those ones with whom you have karmic accounts. So, you will not neglect your mundane duties also. So, Baba says, but for that you need a wholesome intellect. And that wholesome intellect is a product of remembering Baba. But I don't know, this strange thing that we don't remember Baba until I think we become sensible enough to remember Baba. So, this knowledge and this class and this manthan and all of this kind of helps us come to a place where we start realizing the importance of remembering Baba and start remembering Baba, because I think most of the time in the spiritual journey, you just don't do that one thing which is the most important, which is remember Baba. And there was this one brother, and he told me that, Didi, every day in the Murli you are telling that wake up at Amrit Vela, remember Baba. But and in the Murli, when I listen to the Murli, I go home, I'm thinking, tomorrow I will get up at Amrit Vela. And then he said, by the time it's night and it is 11 o'clock, I have 2-3 thoughts which every day are coming. I'll tell you that. So, I think that if I get up at 4, then I'll be over with Amrit Vela at 5. And then, I will have 2 hours of fallow time. So then what will I do in that time? So I have to get up, I have to go to office at 9. So 7 o'clock is good for me. So then I'll sleep from 5 to 7. But then if I sleep from 5 to 7, then it will kill all the, benefits that I got from Amrit Vela. So let me get up at 6. And I'll meditate for 1 hour. And then 7 o'clock I'll get ready and go to office. And then in the morning, when it is 6 and my alarm goes off, I think, Amrit Vela is already gone, and 6 o'clock remembrance is not like 4 o'clock remembrance. So let me just get up tomorrow and I will sleep until 7 and then I'll go to office. And he says this has been going on for like a month. And he said, I am so I don't understand how to get out of this loop of thoughts. And I told him that you need some amount of punya karma to get out of this cycle also. So I said, why don't you start with, just paying attention to regular murli, and start with focusing on not having waste thoughts during the day, and start with doing some seva also, earning some punya karma also. So once you start doing all of that, and start with evening meditation. So if you're not able to, this mind is so full of Maya that you're not able to come at the decision, then you start with evening meditation. You start with Numasham. So 6:30 to 7:30 you sit and meditate. And if you start doing all of this, then you will arrive at the minimum punya karma that you need to arrive at making the effort to remember Baba at Amrit Vela. And Maya is, so we are so, for 63 births, we have done so much of sins, and that burden is so huge that today if I think that, all of a sudden I'll follow everything, that's not happening. But when you take one step at a time and you start following Shrimad, then it gives you the, the Shakti, the strength to do the actual thing, which is remembering Baba. Because, if you look at the crux of the whole Gyan, then this knowledge, this purity, this seva, everything is so that you will remember Baba. And when you start with knowledge, purity and seva, then they kind of break that karmic, that, I don't know, they kind of loosen that, that foundation of pap. And then you are able to do the actual thing, which is remember Baba. Okay, so this is why if you're not remembering Baba, then your buddhi will not work. So until your buddhi works, what do? You just do everything because Baba says. So, because Baba says, just have a surrendered intellect and just keep listening to Murli and meditating and however much you can, and then you start doing seva and start paying attention to pure food and other stuff, and then slowly your remembrance will increase and you will be able to remember Baba accurately and at the most powerful time of Amrit Vela, and then slowly, gradually your sins will finish and you will be able to understand and see what is what. Because right now we are not able to see what is what. Baba is every day showing us a different angle of the world through the Murli, but we see it, when there is a manthan or a Murli going on, there's a glimpse we get, but then it goes away. And then all through the day we are in that same body consciousness. So this is how you break the cycle. This is how you start, you start taking baby steps towards that state of completeness. And when there is completeness, you will be in harmony with your sanskar, your body, everyone around, and with all the 5 elements of nature. And that harmony is actually a state where, you will be happy and the world will be happy. But that will happen in Satyug. But here we have to make effort. Okay? Om Shanti.